Whoa, there's a rumor that the Sentry might be headed for Phase 4.
What does that mean?
Do you know who the Sentry is
I don't think so.
for Phase 4 of the MCU of the Marvel movies?
Oh,
Do you know who the
okay.
Sentry is?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I
Oh, you
do.
should read that book. It's freaking awesome.
All right. Good to know. Maybe I
Yeah, it's
will.
basically this. He's kind of like this universe's Superman, like before Hyperion became super popular. I don't know
Okay.
if you know who Hyperion is.
Yeah,
Um,
I have no idea.
okay, but yeah, he is his own villain. Like he is the hero, but he has like some kind of schizophrenia or identity disorder. But it's like he is also the villain. Like
Okay.
it's like in his head, but it's very very interesting. I would suggest reading the first graphic novel.
All right.
Um, but it's really cool to say he is the Sentry and he also is the Void. He has like the power of 1,000 exploding suns or something like that.
Awesome.
And the Void is like his opposite, but it's his dark side. So the only way to kill the Void is to stop himself. It's really interesting, but he doesn't know that because it's all in his head.
Nice.
It's really cool. I mean, that doesn't really give too much away, but it's really interesting how they incorporated his character into the universe and how within the Marvel and the writers who wrote him, they kind of said like this was Stan Lee's very first superhero, but no one knew because everyone's mind was erased or whatever. It's
Fun.
kind of cool. Welcome to the Super Boob Tube Dudes podcast. I'm your host, Dante Serecchia, and along with me is my trusty sidekick and media brother, Tyler Hoskin.
Howdy
How's it
doody.
going, man?
Oh, not too bad. Not too bad. Getting ready for the big nation birthdays this weekend.
Oh, what is that? I
It's
don't think I know what that is.
it's your Independence Day,
Well, yes, okay,
and
that's right.
it's July 1st is Canada Day.
Oh,
So
really?
we're celebrating 149 years of independence.
Oh, damn, that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
Got it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know how many years of independence is for us. Was it 1776?
say 17. I'd have to do the math, but
Yeah, 1876, 1976.
what 350?
Yeah, it's like no, it's
So
like two.
2016 minus 1776, 240.
Yeah, it's almost 250. I used to know when I was in the military because I'd have to make the friggin' the cake for the ceremony.
Ah, yeah, right on.
Being the baker, put the damn number on every year.
Yeah. Yeah, so you've got your 240 and we've got our 149 this weekend. So,
Wow, damn,
yeah.
that's crazy.
Big
Good deal.
150 next year. Going to be a
Yeah,
party.
big 150. That's pretty good, dude. That's kind of cool. Yeah, Independence Day. God, I got to get my tonsils taken out.
Yeah,
Like,
that's brutal.
yeah,
That
3 days
happened.
before. So I don't know how many fireworks I'll be seeing.
Hopefully you'll be able to eat lots of ice cream. So,
Yeah, I know. I was trying to make shakes and
yeah.
eat soup. Oh God, it's so hot. It's so hard to eat soup in the heat.
It's so hard to eat soup in the heat.
I hate it.
It's been very hot these last few days. That's absolutely
Dude.
for sure.
Yeah, like crazy. It's so humid and hot here in Ohio. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Especially working, and I have to cover my tattoos, so I have to wear long pants and long sleeves.
Oh,
It's unfair, to say the least.
that's not cool, man. That's not cool at all.
Yeah, it's pretty shitty. But anyway, yeah. So we've been kind of gone for a couple weeks because there's not really much superhero TV. There is news, and we have quite a bit of it, but we're really just the Preacher and Outcast podcast.
Yeah, for the moment
this
at least.
week and,
Yeah.
and until the summer.
Yeah, for the moment, we are just the Preacher Outcast podcast. Basically, the Possession podcast, I think.
Right? Yeah, it's crazy. And we're just we have like 3 episodes of each show since we did the first two, the first episodes of each of those shows last time. So we'll get into 2 through 2 through 4 here today. But let's kind of go into some news. So I'm just going to kind of roll through the page. So one thing that I hadn't posted that I couldn't find, but apparently, did you hear that we're getting a bunch of different casting newses? That's, for Arrow and Supergirl, and not very much for Flash or anything like that. Well, a couple things, but did you hear that we're getting Artemis in Arrow?
I did hear that. Yeah.
So that was the one thing that I hadn't posted on the Facebook page, but it's the girl who stole Laurel's Black Canary stuff.
Right.
Apparently, so she's going to be Artemis, who is like the Green Arrow sidekick from Young Justice, that cartoon that was on for 2 seasons. So that's really cool. I'm really interested to see what happens there. Then we have the Flashpoint news with Flash. I guess that first episode is going to be, Flashpoint. And apparently, even though Stephen Amell said that they're not, like before, a couple weeks ago, he said it's not going to affect Arrow. Apparently now he went back on his words and maybe has just more information because he didn't know. But I guess that he said that it very well might affect Arrow.
Oh, I think it's got to.
I think so too. I mean, if they're really, really going for this Flashpoint stuff, and that's what I was kind of hesitant about at first, but like if they're really going for this Flashpoint stuff, it needs to be bigger than just on the Flash.
Oh, for sure, especially when you've got all those shows now. Yeah,
and I mean that's why I was like, are they really only going to do this on the Flash, or will it only affect the Flash? Because if it does, it's going to suck. And to stunt that show. The growth of that, or that whole episode, that story arc, to make it a smaller thing is just, it's so it doesn't honor it if they did it that way. And I think that if it can be a universe wide like change and affect Arrow and maybe even Supergirl stuff and add more heroes or bring back heroes from the dead, changing the past the way Flash did, then it could really honor that story.
Right.
Especially for the TV universe.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. So I'm hoping that in the Flash's like his whole change of at the end of the season 2 there, I'm hoping that we get maybe Ronnie back somehow, which I don't know if Ronnie should come back, but I mean, kind of like dying twice, or not really dying twice, but I don't know how that would work with the Jackson character that's in Legends of Tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that's kind of like the only one I don't know what's going on. But Laurel might come back. She might not be dead.
True.
We might get our Black Canary back, which is cool. A lot of different things. Like remember when Flash went back and then that one kid became a good guy. I can't remember his name, but he had like the gloves that were like the Sonic gloves or whatever, and he was like a gay kid.
Oh yes, yeah, because he did come back, right? But
right, yeah. So we went back in time and changed that whole like week or whatever.
Right,
like he became, or that day or whatever it was, he became a good guy in the future when he came back. And see, that was kind of cool. So maybe things like that will be. I think that may have been like the test. Like, can people really accept these changes at this small scale? But now at the end of the season, do you think we can go farther and accept these changes on like a greater universe wide and series wide scale after 2 seasons? So like is Eddie coming back? All kinds of things. There's so many different questions we have to ask. Will they do the Batman stuff? Will we get a Thomas Wayne? Will we get some kind of, will it be more like a different version of Arrow instead of the Batman thing?
I think they might do Batman instead of, Arrow instead of Batman.
Well, you think so? Who would be in Arrow's place?
Oh, I think they've set it up in that spot because Oliver and his dad are on that lifeboat.
Right.
So Oliver probably kills himself on the boat, or something happens.
You think they might do that? I had that idea too, and I really like it. But do you think that could be that alternate universe that he goes to and then has to revert it?
It makes the most sense.
Yeah, yeah, it does.
right? Because
it really does.
without bringing Batman into the world, because
Or
that's
even Dr. Stein. That could be something too.
true. But I mean, like, even like it's a lot to do, right? Because
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
lot to do to bring Batman into the universe.
That's true.
You can't
It is
just
very
go,
true.
here's Batman.
Right, I know. I mean, that's what kind of bugs me about it, because you're just like, you can't just say, "Oh, here's this character," and throw him in.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could, but and it would, the fans who would know would be like, "Yes," but then everyone else watching that doesn't know these storylines be like,
Yeah.
"What the hell just happened? Why did this guy come in from nowhere?" You know?
Yeah. So I think it makes the most sense to do it with Oliver and his dad.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what they actually do.
Right. Yeah. A lot of doo doo.
A lot of doo.
So apparently we're going to get Jesse Quick. That's another one thing. She's confirmed to be coming back for season 3.
Awesome.
And so that means she's got to come back from Earth 3. After Jay Garrick brought her to his world with her dad.
Right. Well, they went back to Earth 2, though, didn't they?
No. They went back to 3. He took her to, well...
I thought
Okay,
they were
no,
all
that's
going
right.
to
He
2.
took him to Earth 3, then he said he would help them get back to Earth 2.
Okay.
So, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with the whole Flashpoint stuff now. Will it be, will that be the same or whatever? We got some interesting news. Do you want to talk about Star Trek TV stuff? I mean, down the line with the show and stuff like that?
Sure. I'm going to try and watch it. I don't know how easily accessible it's going to be up here in Canada because of the CBS streaming stuff. So
it is on the Seed, right?
Yeah, so I'm not sure. Like, I'll be able to watch it on CBS,
right?
Because they're going to do the first episode actually on TV,
right?
But I don't know how accessible I'm going to have Star Trek.
Okay, well, if you can't get it, then I can help you get it. And
there'll be a way to get it up here for sure. But
right.
It would be nice to have it on my TV.
So. I totally understand that.
But,
well, the only thing that we really know is that it's going to be a 13 episode thing. Yeah,
it's a
like you
full
said,
story arc over the 13 episodes too.
Yeah, it's cool. So it's not like Villain of the Week and Planet of the Week kind of thing, which is kind of. I mean, it might be, but there's going to be a whole arc, which is kind of cool. I like that idea. Feels very Netflixy, like that. They usually do 13 episodes for big Netflix shows and stuff, the whole arc like that. So it's kind of cool. I like that idea.
Yeah, hopefully they continue that. It's going to be fun. I'm pretty excited to see what they do with this.
Me too. Did they say what time period it was going to be? It was going to be farther into.
I think it's
like. Was it before Kirk?
It's after Kirk, but before TNG.
Oh, okay. I knew it was somewhere in between there, but I think that'll be really cool. I mean, I really need to watch a lot of Star Trek. I know a lot about it, but I haven't really watched many of the episodes. I really like Deep Space Nine, and I like TNG.
Yeah.
And I've only watched about half of the original series.
Well, there's only 3 seasons of the original series, so.
Right. Yeah, I know it's not very much, but they're long drawn out episodes. A lot of Star Trek I'd like to kind of get through because I do dig that stuff. It just hasn't really had the time to do that.
Yeah, Voyager wasn't bad, but
I love Voyager.
the Enterprise show that came after Voyager.
Oh, the one with Scott Bakula?
Yeah, it was awful.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, not Scott Bakula.
Oh,
Enterprise was with the guy Kevin Sorbo, right?
Who was it? I have to look.
Wasn't it Hercules?
No, I don't think so.
Which one was that one? Oh, he did Andromeda. My bad.
Enterprise.
Yeah, that was a different show.
Oh, I can't just Google Enterprise, I guess, because I get Rent-A-Car.
Yeah, I think I heard a lot of good things about that. My buddy from back home, he's a huge Star Trek dude.
Oh, you're right.
Nut,
Scott Bakula, you were right.
Yeah, Scott Bakula, I thought so. And he's like a huge Star Trek nut, and he really liked the Enterprise from what I remember him saying.
I don't like it at all.
Well, either way, there's some cool Star Trek stuff happening. I mean, with the movie coming out soon and this new TV series, which is awesome. We just got our first official word that The Punisher on Netflix will be out in November of next year.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, very cool stuff. It's not very far. I mean, I guess it is very far away. It's over a year away, but we have like 4 other Netflix shows to get through first.
I'm still working on The Walking Dead.
Yeah. How? What episode are you on right now?
I'm just about
Or
to
season?
finish season 5.
Oh, good. You're pretty close then.
Yeah. So I'm gonna finish season 5, and I think I'm gonna watch the first season of the Fear the Walking Dead.
Yeah, you should do that. It's actually really good.
Then I'll watch season 6, and then I'll watch the season 2 of Fear the Walking Dead.
Good deal.
So I will get caught up before October. It's my goal.
I don't know why it won't let me. It won't let me see any more of the Facebook page. Let me check my phone. Yeah. So we have that coming. What else did? So Superman was cast.
Yes, Supergirl has cast Superman. Tyler somebody.
Tyler Hoechlin.
Right.
I guess he is one of the alpha guys from MTV's, one of the alpha wolves from MTV's Teen Wolf.
Okay.
And I guess he's the new Superman. So, and he was kind of online talking about how he's going to try and honor it the best he can, just kind of do his own version,
right?
Which is cool. I mean, he's not going to let any other version kind of ruin his or anything like that. But I mean, I don't know. He's got a very dark. So like the dark hair. I know Superman has dark hair and stuff, but I don't know. It's just I don't know.
That's all stuff they can fix,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I mean, he definitely can pull it off. I think. I'm very interested to see what's going on with that. And we have 2 new castings for Arrow as well. We have a guy who's going to play this character called Vigilante, and I guess he's more of like a bad guy, bad guy character on the show. And then another guy who is called what's his name? Watchdog or something like that. Did you hear about that casting?
I don't remember who they are, but one of them is Tyrese from The Walking Dead.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Yeah, there's Vigilante, and then there's one other guy. I think his name is his name is Wild Dog. So we got 2 new guys too. I think one guy is kind of like a going to be kind of a little maybe sidekicky Vigilante character, and then Vigilante, like that guy's name, I think he will be more of a villain type.
Yeah, Tyrese's guy, Chad L. Coleman, he's playing a guy named Tobias Church.
Oh, interesting. I think he might be Wild Dog.
He's a thug of some kind.
Interesting. Okay. Well, that's funny. He played T-Dog, now he's playing Wild Dog. Oh no, the guy who played Tyrese.
Yeah.
Oh, the guy who played Tyrese. Okay, not T-Dog.
not T-Dog. No.
Okay, so Legends of Tomorrow has a casting. It's Citizen Steel. That's pretty cool. I think that'll be. I don't really know very much about the character, but he should be. I don't know. He should be pretty interesting. I mean, all this JSA stuff with the Legends coming in with Our Man and everything. I dig that a lot. What else do we have? They set all the premiere dates. I don't know if we talked about this last time, but they set the premiere dates for like the Flash, Supergirl.
Yeah. First and second week of October.
Right.
Super
right.
pumped.
It's
gonna be great.
Yeah, it's gonna be freaking superhero TV week, like for the whole season. So it'll be Mondays a Supergirl, Tuesdays Flash, Wednesday Arrow, and Thursday Legends. I mean, all we need is Constantine to fill that Friday again.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Or Gotham to move to the CW, and we're done.
Right, I know that's a Monday show too, so that's going to compete again with Supergirl. Yeah. We'll see how that goes. I don't know. I mean, with Gotham, we haven't heard very much of anything except the new Poison Ivy casting. Apparently, this girl named Maggie Gia. They kind of released that. I mean, she's like 26 or 27, but
it looks like they want to go older with her.
Well, they're changing her to make her more of a villain. So they're like saying that one of those monsters that got released from what was that prison called that Strange
Arkham?
had them in?
Oh, in not Blackgate. That's a different one.
It wasn't Arkham. It was the
it was the Iron Heights.
Right. He had all those prisoners escaped on that bus. So apparently, one of those monsters or whatever encounters young Ivy and messes with her and kind of makes her reborn, and she changes to this new actress and becomes older somehow, like I don't know, by like 7 years or 8 or whatever.
Indian Hills, not Iron Heights.
Right, no, that's right here. Yeah, Indian Hill. That's
Iron
correct.
Heights
the monsters
is Arrow
from Indian
in
Hill.
The prison.
And yeah, so that's kind of interesting. I mean, it's very different. I mean, they're changing a lot of stuff with that show. So I kind of dig the idea that, and it's a new idea. It's very different. And we got Linda Carter was rumored a few months ago to maybe be the president on Supergirl season 2 if they got picked up, and they did, and they actually cast her as the president. So I think that's kind of cool. I mean, cool. She is on a different universe, but
it's still pretty cool.
Yeah, it's still really cool. So I'm interested to see how they're going to keep these two universes separate and how they're going to cross over again, and how Flashpoint might affect it, which I don't know if it will. I mean, that might be the only show it doesn't affect. I mean, other than Gotham, because it's not CW. But
right,
I don't know.
It'll be interesting to find out.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to find out here when it shows up. We got a new a date for Lucifer, September 19th. That's coming back, so that's cool. What else do we have? Do you hear about that Mephisto rumor with the Defenders, a Netflix series?
I did not.
So apparently, I don't know if you know who Mephisto is. He's like the son of the devil, but he kind of acts as the devil in the Marvel universe. He is like he's a big like mystical big bad sort of guy, and apparently he's rumored to be the villain in the Defenders crossover.
Cool.
So when we get Luke Cage and Iron Fist and Jessica Jones and Daredevil together, like they might have to go up against him. It's not confirmed, obviously, but that's the hot rumor to kind of bring that in. And that's pretty much it on the news. The one thing left though on apparently the on Legends of Tomorrow, did you hear about how they recast the Vixen?
I saw something about that, but I didn't dive too much into it, to be honest.
Yeah, so I heard that there was going to be, they said Vixen's going to be on the show, but then
not going to be the same person.
Yeah, I guess that the one who appeared on Arrow, I guess it might be. Well, they said that it might be her mother because it might be a different generation of Vixen that they encounter.
Okay.
So it's like the person who had the amulet like twice before her because they the time travel stuff.
Right.
So I think that might be the thing, or maybe they've casted both of them. They've casted two different Vixens, which is interesting. So no, I'm not sure really too much about that, except that I heard about that casting there. And we're also getting a Groot, a Rocket and Groot and Ant-Man animated shorts from Marvel.
Amazing.
So that'll be a lot of fun. And the one last thing is that apparently Arrow's first episode is going to be like the most brutal, bloodiest, violent action scenes on national television.
Huh.
Or on network television, excuse me.
Well, that's
so I think they're doing like a Daredevil hallway type scene for TV.
Huh. I wonder how he gets into that mess, because it was left off pretty happy.
Yeah, I mean, I heard that. I don't know. I heard some crazy stuff that like they're really ramping up the show, I guess, in violence, and how like, you know, given no fucks kind of Arrow, like something is really going to make Arrow or Stephen Amell and Green Arrow like be pretty pissed off about something and kind of go back to his hard ways. Not like killing bad guys like in the first 2 seasons, but like he's going to go pretty damn hard. I think they're just trying to daredevil up the action and violence with the choreography and stuff with that show, which is good. Hopefully it works. But I think they do need to get away from this, you know, the soap opera, you know, romance stuff, drama. And it needs to get back to the main story and him and the other characters. Enough this Felicity crap. I don't know. That's just my opinion. They need to kind of move her aside. She's in it too much, but I know it is kind of her show too. I mean, it's kind of like the Felicity and the Olicity show lately.
Yeah, for sure.
They need to kind of get back to their roots of the actual Green Arrow character. It just doesn't seem like it's his show. It seems like it's everybody's show, and I kind of don't like that. Like, Flash is Flash. I mean, there's a lot of the other characters, but Flash is Flash. Legends are those guys, you know, because that's a team show. Supergirl is Supergirl, but Arrow is like Team Arrow the whole time.
I was gonna say, it's not called Team Arrow.
Yeah, it's like we got Diggle all up in here, and I mean, I'd like to see a lot more introduction of like heroes, like we got with Mr. Terrific coming in, and these other guys that are coming. That's why I think they're doing more of this street level vigilante stuff and no more magic superpowered. They're kind of getting back to street level Arrow, which I like.
Yeah, I mean, like, everybody's at the end of the season, everybody left, so.
Right. Yeah, we got Diggle back going with the military and stuff like that. So
I'm sure all that will change, but it'll be nice to just see Arrow.
Yeah, exactly, and maybe even and apparently Arsenal might be coming back too.
Awesome.
So it'll be cool to see, you know, the new Artemis character and these other bad guys and things like that. So that's pretty much the news, guys, and a little bit of recap of or end cap of those seasons that we just kind of finished up here a couple of weeks ago. And then, but yeah, one little last thing though, that John Bernthal, did you hear about him saying that like he's ready, like in his heart, he's ready to become the Punisher for real, and that like in Daredevil season 2, Frank Castle wasn't really the Punisher yet. He was still Frank Castle, like transforming into that character.
Oh, interesting.
So that's what he just said. He's like, I didn't feel like I was the Punisher yet. And he's like, I was still Frank Castle dealing with all this stuff. And then at the end, we saw him with the skull, you know, and it was kind of like that beginning of the Punisher. So he's like, I am ready to do this. And he's going to put all his heart and soul into it, I think. And
nice.
Yeah, he's kind of like that kind of actor. So I'm really excited to see what the real Punisher might look like once they get into his story and everything. But that's pretty much it with that. And let's get into the shows. Why don't we go ahead and do Preacher first? Basically, Preacher is, to me, it's very, very slow and drawn out right now.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't want to go episode to episode and story to story. I want to pick these like different little story beats and stuff and ask you some questions.
From what I remember of the actual comic book series itself, we don't spend a lot of time in the town.
Well, see, this is what I heard. I heard that this season is more of a prequel to the show because to the comic. Because like the comic just like starts off boom, like right there. Right. It just starts off so fast.
Yeah, because we kind of get a little bit. They're already there. They're all kind of hanging out together in Anvil, and then they're off on their adventure. So
it kind of goes really fast in the comics. So I mean, we get the heaven and hell, and we find out what the thing is that's inside of him, but we still haven't found that out in the show.
No,
we're kind of getting he's getting used to and kind of abusing this power that he just got shot inside of him, basically.
But he's abusing his power kind of for good in a way.
Yeah, like he wants to, but he is. But he's still abusing it. Like he's going through people's will and imbuing his will onto them.
I love the scene when he shows Cassidy what it's all about. And he's making him hop up and down on one leg. And
and he's
songs.
Like just letting him do it.
say I love Justin Bieber.
There's some pretty good scenes. Like I did watch the 5th episode, which we don't have to talk about or anything today. I just watched it with dinner here before the show.
My PVR is still screwing up.
That's messed up, man. You got to call them.
Yeah, no. After this, I'm calling and harassing.
I would too. That sucks. I couldn't stand that. We had like a retooling or they shut the power off and stuff.
Yeah.
To do some maintenance, and they said, it'd be shut off from like 1 a.m. to 6 a.m.
Sure.
And then when I got home from work that day, it was still not working, and I thought like I didn't pay my bill or something because I'm like. What happened? Why would they just shut it off? And I realized, they went over their time. So, I didn't have internet or TV for that whole day.
That's the worst.
Yeah, it was so stupid. And I was scared. I was like, shit, I guess I'll have to pay my bill when I can. But yeah, so Preacher kind of goes through this whole ordeal with this mighty will of God being that's through him, and then we get these two guys that we find out are like angels.
Yeah,
and they're coming down to take this entity from the Preacher.
Back in a coffee can.
Oh yeah, it was so weird. And I don't know if you really, I don't know how you like the show.
I love the show. It's slow, but I'm really enjoying the storylines that we're getting, and I think I am enjoying it more because I know where it's going.
Oh yeah, that's true. I understand. I don't know how close they're going to stick to everything because they have changed. Like Tulip's very different and stuff like that.
Yeah, they've obviously changed a few things, but I know the kind of the feel of the comic book, so I know kind of the direction they're going to head. So.
I think that in season 2 we're going to get really, really, really deep into more of the comic.
Yeah,
that's my thing. I think these 10 episodes are going to be like very, very much set up, which they already are. I think you'll really like the next episode, this episode 5 that was on last night, and then the one after that's going to be great. I think because it's really kind of getting into what we want to see and the answers and the questions and stuff like that. So here we get a little bit more of the power of Cassidy and his willingness to do kind of whatever the hell he wants. So he ends up like, what did you think about when he took out the angel characters?
Oh, which time?
Well, yeah, I know. First in the church.
The first time in the church was a pretty great scene because he thought they were after him.
Right, he thought they were vampire hunters like before in the first episode.
So it was like that was pretty awesome, and he just kind of took the chainsaw to him, and
then he buried their pieces.
Yeah, and then he sees them on the street, and that was pretty funny too.
Oh yeah, I was like, what? And I mean, it makes sense because they are a higher power. But then you realize like they really are from heaven or whatever, they really are these weird guys that are from heaven that are trying to get the Preacher and everything.
And it explains why they're trying to dress to fit in, right? Right.
Yeah. They're all dressed differently in every town they went in from that first episode. So so we also get this, in the town stuff with Arseface and his dad, the sheriff, and there's what is up with that guy who was we have the mayor, who's like this really young guy that's kind of like really likes the girl that works in the coffee shop, but then the guy who played Rorschach, Jackie Earl Haley, what is up with him and his business and everything with the mayor?
Oh, the guy who runs that meat place.
Yeah, it's like a butcher shop.
Yeah,
but
it's sketchy.
It is. There's not very many answers, but especially what was up with like the last episode when they were like chasing the girls and doing that paintball run and everything.
I have no idea what's going on.
It's just so weird. A lot of unanswered questions. A lot of crazy things were just happening. But one thing that's kind of that hasn't really been answered that's kind of weird is remember when Tulip was talking to that one girl on the bench?
Yes.
In the second episode, and then that girl
Danny.
or that woman, that woman had like some information, and she brought it to this guy at like this horror movie that he was seeing in like a white suit.
Yeah, they didn't see his face.
You didn't see his face, and you saw he got up and he walked out, and he has a white hat on, and we haven't seen him since. What do you think?
You know what? I have absolutely no clue.
Yeah, I was just asking my girlfriend. I was going through the shows real quick, just kind of skim them, and I was like, "Who is this guy?" I totally forgot about him, but he hasn't even like shown his face or anything, and he's not one of the Angel guys because he was by himself.
Right? Yeah. I don't know what's going on with him.
Yeah, very interesting. We don't even know what kind of information the girl gave him, and a lot of craziness. So we get some demonstrations of his power.
It was a map, right? Wasn't it?
What's that now?
It was a map.
Was it a map or was it like a booklet full of information?
I think it was a map.
It was really dark. I couldn't really see exactly what it was.
Tulip kept talking to Jesse about getting a map for Danny.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know, because Tulip's trying to get him to get back on this job to get revenge on this guy that screwed him over.
Yeah, that drove off when he killed the security guard or whatever.
Yeah. So there's that story, and Tulip is just so angry. Like, she is absolutely pissed off.
The scene where she gets in line to get baptized was hilarious.
Oh, yeah, that was really funny. There's and all the different power, the little demonstrations of power Jesse's been using, like with the guy who was like wanted to rape the girl.
Yeah.
And then he's like, he tells him to totally forget her. And
he does. Ugh.
Yeah, and he's like, I can't remember her name. Oh, it was so crazy. It was weird.
She goes to get on the bus, and she's like, "Are you new?"
Right. Oh man, like he was finding her out all over again, though.
Yeah.
Which was really creepy because it was like he forgot her, but then when he saw her, it's not that he remembered her. It was like he had those feelings again to try and rape her.
Right. Yeah.
It was like this girl's new. I kind of like her. It was like, oh, it was so creepy, weird, and then he beat his ass in a tub.
Yeah, that was pretty epic.
Yeah. There's some good stuff. Then also the one guy, Donnie. Remember he's talking to his kid because the kid tried to get the preacher in the first episode to beat his ass.
That scene in the bathroom.
Yeah, and he uses the power to like put the gun in his mouth and cock it, and oh man! And
I thought his head was going to
that stuff comes
everywhere.
Up in the latest episode too.
Oh, awesome!
Yeah, you'll like this. Episode 5 is pretty good. It's one of the better ones. With just kind of moving stuff along and getting those answers. But I think 6, like I said, is going to be really, really good. What else is going on with the show? Who else? Oh, Cassidy. He realizes. Oh, Cassidy kind of has this little tiny relationship with the Angels.
Yeah, he's playing them.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, he's using their abilities to try and get drugs off of them.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I'll get you the preacher. He needs this and this and that and this. He's like, get him those things, bring them to me, and then I can get you Cassidy.
Oh, so funny. Again, I like when one of those, the angels saw a commercial for a burger. And he goes to the front desk of the motel and asks for the burger.
Yeah, he's like, we're not a restaurant. I thought those, they don't know anything about anything, really.
Nothing.
But then that phone rings.
The phone
rings. That heaven phone or whatever.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty interesting. There's some interesting stuff going on. Lots of different storylines with these different characters. It's but also the one thing is that's really kind of not bugging me, but is very confusing is this Old West cowboy that they keep showing.
Yeah.
Now, they showed him, I think, in the second episode, and then they show him in the episode in the last episode we've seen, which is episode 4, and he kind of comes up, but then he has a whole huge opening in the 5th episode you'll see later on.
Okay.
But I'm so confused with that. When you watch that scene, when you watch the 5th episode, we'll talk about it because I don't understand anything that was going on with him. I knew what was happening, but we don't know why or who he is and what he is or whatever.
My guess is he has the whatever Jesse has.
He can't. This is the first time this has ever happened. Remember in the comic, this is like the first time that. I mean, I don't want to give away the.
Yeah, I remember that,
but you remember, like, I don't think that is actually that. It's got to be something else.
You think?
I mean, maybe because we don't. I mean, when you see the scene, let me know what you think. Because
I'm gonna go see because I've been watching everything on our on demand service, so I'm gonna go check to see if it's on demand yet.
Okay. Yeah, because there was a huge opening scene with him, and I guess it's pretty long. But it's not like anything that Jesse has done is happening with him. That's why I'm like, I don't think it.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, I don't. It's weird. It's weird. You'll have to watch, but we can talk about that next time we're on. But that's pretty much Preacher. I mean, the show is just moving along at a nice, steady, slow pace.
Yeah.
But it'll get to its answers as the first season goes on. But I think this whole season is going to end with a huge ass cliffhanger.
Oh God, yeah.
And
Brett Spiner's character.
Oh yeah. Oh no.
That's Outcast.
That's
Sorry,
Outcast. Which we're going to get to right
character. Now. Oh my God.
I love that.
Love him.
So Outcast episode 2, it is pretty much all about Kyle's mother.
Yes.
And there's a lot of flashbacks. What we saw a little bit of in episode 1, his mother was possessed. His mother kept him in the cupboard and locked him in there. And there's just pretty much a lot of that going on. So the episode starts off with him, playing with his mother outside and the laundry, and then all of a sudden it's just like she's just
covering herself in mud.
Dragged down by the demon, and she just covers herself in mud.
Oh,
and it's just like she lived like that for I don't know how many years or months or whatever.
So creepy.
Oh, I know. The way they do the show is wild. But the boy that Kyle saved in the first episode, it was back at church, and the pastor's there doing his thing and telling everyone their asses and and you gotta trust the Lord and all this stuff.
Such a good speech.
Yeah, really good stuff going on. I really love his character. He's one of my favorites.
I think if church was like that a bit more, I'd go.
Yeah, I mean it's to the point. It's getting you right in the spots you need to be gotten by God or whatever, and it kind of he gives it to the point. It's like right to the point, and there's lessons, but he he brings it to like right to their face in what they need to do as children of God or whatever at his sermon. So but pretty much this whole episode is it's like flashbacks. It's Kyle just
it's showing us what happened with Kyle and his mom.
And there's the torment and torture that his mother put him through as a child, and him living there, and he's still living in that house. And he decides to go visit her in the hospital, and he's kind of pissed off at how they've kind of set her up and how they're leaving her there. So he takes her home, and he kind of wants to care for her himself, but it's so selfish and impulsive. And like he wants to do good, but he can't. There's no way he could do the things that a nurse could do. He's not going to sit there all day. So I mean, his heart's in the right place, but it's just a very stupid idea.
Yeah, and the Reverend pretty much says that.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly what he says. And we also get some stuff with his stepsister and or his foster sister. And
that dude,
which dude?
The guy who, I forget what episode it's in, but
that's the last. Yeah, that's after. But I mean, like here, there's remember him and his wife, and he tries to give the book to his daughter for her birthday, and he can't like have any contact or anything like that. And the rapist dude, the foster brother.
Yeah, he was creepy
as
fuck.
Yeah, that was messed up.
Is he dead now? Did he get beaten to death at the end of that episode?
I don't think he died. No, I think he just got. I don't think so. I mean, I don't think that
crime.
I don't think the cop would have killed him on the dash cam. I mean, he was stupid as hell to beat his ass on the dash cam.
That's true.
I mean, he's going to lose his job. I'm like, dude, you were going to get fired.
Yeah. And I thought that's what the chief was calling about that. And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. And speaking of the chief, we kind of think that he's kind of dirty on like the episode after this one. But then you find out that he's just kind of keeping this small town, mess to himself.
Yeah.
And he's like trying to handle it himself so he can kind of do it closer to the chest.
He doesn't want anything else to
leak out and everything.
He doesn't want like the FBI or
right
to show up.
So after all this flashback stuff with Kyle and his mom, we also get that one lady who's like trying to be his the one lady of the church lady that's trying to be the pastor's soldier, but she kind of likes him too.
Oh, does she ever?
Yeah, she's like really infatuated with him, and that's kind of happening.
Dinner, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, right. But then we get this scene where Kyle still thinks that the demon is inside his mother.
Yeah,
and so he rips off the bandage from when he got bit by the kid. And he smashes it on the wall so it can bleed and so he can drip the blood in her mouth. But then nothing does happen. Like she is just a vegetable from what happened. And it's so sad.
Oh, the scene where like the flashback scene where we see the demon come out of her.
Yeah.
And
he tries to choke him.
Yeah.
And it's like the demon doesn't have enough strength to kill him.
Yeah.
And it spits up from her after all this time it's been inside her, and then it tries to choke Kyle, and then it finally goes back to hell or whatever, because it just doesn't have the strength enough to kill him. But then, right then we get Brent Spiner's character, who is like the devil.
Yeah,
and who is in pain and dying or something somehow. Because remember, he was choking up that black shit.
Yeah, is he the devil?
I'm pretty sure he is.
Yeah, that's where I'm
in
going
the comic,
with it too.
He really kind of feels like he's the devil.
Okay,
and I think he actually says it that he is.
Yeah. Okay.
I think he actually will because he has. It hasn't really come up yet, but there's a spot in the comic. I'm not sure if they're going to do it, so it's not really too much of a spoiler, but he kind of like blackmails the pastor a bit in the comic.
Right.
And he kind of has a little verbal relationship with him for a couple issues, and he ends up like branding him with like the upside down star and stuff.
Nice.
And it's messed up. So like he kind of tells him that he basically is the devil.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if he actually is. He might just be a very more powerful demon.
Sure.
But I'm pretty sure he's really close to being the devil. So he ends up meeting or going to see Kyle's mother in the hospital, and he's like, you did so well and you were so powerful, and you could have been kind of great or whatever. And he's like, but you're broken and you did your job and you did it well. And it's like, oh, it's just so messed up. And
a single tear curls down her cheek.
Yeah. And then she cries, and it's like the only time she feels anything from what we see. But then we get into this other character, and this was really great because I was like, oh, this happened in the comic. And it's basically like the story of this guy and him and this other dude. He's like a cop, right?
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Now I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, the one guy who's on the double date at the bowling alley, and I think it's like with a cop, and he kind of like it just happens to him, like a demon just like seeps inside of him.
Yeah. And
you kind of see it happen when he's bowling. And it's wild.
Fucked up.
Yeah, it's very, very wild. Like he just becomes a completely different thing. And he pisses off his date, and then they go home, and he kind of gives him his buddy and his wife, they kind of give him like the couch to chill on, and then the husband goes out, and this guy F's up his wife, like bends her up in a pretzel, and I don't know, maybe rapes her or whatever.
Oh, does lots, yeah.
Yeah, he like bites her and watches her bleed and it's crazy. But he does some really nasty stuff. So this kind of comes up later, and the cop or detective or whoever he is, I don't really know what his occupation is or anything. They really don't get too much into it, but he has some kind of
they are cops. They're the two guys are partners.
They're partners, right? That's what I thought. Okay, so he kind of has an in with the precinct or whatever, and he ends up locking up his partner in this. Where were they? Was it like a factory of some sort?
It was a prison, but he was down in like the boiler room or something.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, that's right.
It was the prison. Like he is in prison,
but he chains him up on a table like underground.
Yeah, so they can do this. So they can do the exorcism.
Right. So they bring in Kyle and the pastor, and the guy is like, he's a very different demon, like very different, right?
Yeah. Way different.
He's a trickster, and he's like very manipulative, and he's very like two-faced, kind of like you don't know if he's actually a demon or not. He kind of plays that like I don't know type card or what's going on until Kyle touches him. Yeah. And like it's like the demon doesn't know who he is until he touches him.
Yeah, and you're the outcast.
Yeah, and he's like, "Whoa, I didn't even know," kind of thing. And he's like, "But that's you." And then Kyle's like just goes off on him, like, "What does that mean? What does that mean?" And he kind of just gives him a shitty, generic outcast sort of answer. There's no real divine sort of answer that he can give him that he probably should get. But it's really weird. We still don't know exactly what Kyle's power is, but he ends up putting the blood in his mouth after he beats his ass. And nothing happens. Like he kind of like biles up a little bit of black stuff, but the demon doesn't leave him.
Right, because he's been in there. That's a strong demon.
I guess so. He must be really strong. He's just so different because he said he's like he asked the preacher. He's like, you said that the demons could be as different as every soul. As a soul is different from someone else. So like every demon can be very different. They're not all the same. So that kind of happens. He doesn't really get any answers, and then the demon ends up trying to escape, and he like pulls his hand through the handcuff. You remember that?
Yeah, that was crazy. And
Oh, man, he holds like the knife to him.
No, he grabs the cross.
Oh, right. And in the meantime, there is the scene with the chief, and he has that information about like I guess this the trailer in the woods that him and then the other police officer found. Remember, they found like the dead animals, like like crucified raccoon on the tree and all the skins and things like that.
Yeah, that was a little creepy.
Yeah,
that was really creepy.
Something's going on, and we kind of find out what might be happening in the next episode. But there's the other storyline with the cop's wife, the foster sister, and she's trying to figure out who's following her. And we find out later in that other episode that it's this guy she knew as a kid, this other foster brother or foster kid that ended up raping her. And she kind of investigates his apartment and why he's in town and all that. And it's kind of creepy because we find out that like he raped her as a kid, and it's messed up. And then she buys all those glasses from the thrift store to just break them to like get her rage out.
I thought she was gonna go shooting practice.
Yeah, me too. That's what Whitney and I thought the same thing. We were like, she's gonna go shoot those things, and then she just hammers the hell out of them.
And I guess that makes more sense because a gun's gonna make a lot of noise and wake everybody up.
Right. And she was kind of like not too far in the woods to do that. But
especially with that gun she had, that's a giant fucking piece.
Yeah, that was a nice like kind of like a Ruger type.
Yeah, that's a great
357 piece. Or that thing. Yeah, that thing can make a lot of noise.
Yeah, and a big hole.
Yeah. So it's kind of crazy. So we thought. Remember the one guy, his partner, the demon's partner. He was like trying to like suffocate him. But then he just stopped. He couldn't.
And he called him a pussy.
Yeah, and he's just tied up to the bed. So I think he's there.
I think he's there for
quite a while.
And we might see him again. Oh
yeah, I really hope so. I think he'll be a good like answer giver.
Yeah.
Sort of propeller of the story. As everything goes by. But then at the end of that second episode, Kyle ends up going to his neighbor's house that was lending him the car.
Yeah.
And he freaking he was dead.
Yeah, and then you see the straight blade. The
straight razor that the devil was using in the bathroom.
Yes.
And just like in the comics in the comic, the guy that you see the devil visit the neighbor, and it's just not good.
Oh.
It's pretty messed up for that episode, and then we get back into the episode 4 where we're talking about the rape and that side story, and then we get the cop going after him after they see him at dinner and he says hi, and then he kind of figures out more information, and like she never told him who the guy was, or she just told him the story.
She told him the story, but not who did it.
Not his name or anything. And then we figure out like all the little tiny trinkets that the pastor has and why he has them for people he helped, and they get gifts, and then we end up meeting that one lady we've seen before, that one old lady, and she is totally a demon. But then we also see the chief has like that dinner like get together. He has like a dinner with some friends of his.
Yeah.
And his friend's wife is totally a demon.
You think so?
I think the wife is and not the guy. I think they might both be. But
or like the guy is kind of high.
The dog was totally barking at her, not him.
Yeah.
And the chief was playing it off like he was barking at him. And I don't know. I think they're both up to something because that one guy, he ends up burning down that trailer that they got that info from. And he was kind of like, there's a lot of, crap in the neighborhood, and how he found his watch, and it was a really good scene. I really like that character. I like the chief a lot.
Yeah, no, he's a great actor too.
Yeah, he's been in lots of things. He's kind of like that black guy you see who's in movies. He is. I mean, he's like any other guy. He's like, oh, I know that guy, and I know that guy, and guy. He shows up everywhere, just like some other actors.
And he's in House of Cards too as Freddy.
Oh, is he? I don't watch that show.
He's the rib guy that Frank.
Yeah, I know. I remember that. I saw a few episodes with my brother. Yeah, he is the rib guy. He's the guy that. Well, he's the president now, right? In that show.
Yeah.
Yeah, he goes to visit him for some ribs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good. He's been in lots of stuff.
Oh, he was in the Fantastic Four, the crappy one that just came out.
Oh my God! Yeah, you're right. He was the Richards.
No, he was Storm. Dr. Franklin Storm.
Yeah, Storm. I'm sorry, Storm. That's right. Yeah, and he was the Storm dad.
I just watched that the other day, and it was bad.
Bad. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It was bad.
It is not. It's like 3 different movies put together, and it's just it's terrible.
Yeah, it was bad.
So anyway, Outcast. That's pretty much it with Outcast. I mean, we get the little scene with Kyle and the cop, and how he learns a little bit more about the rapist, and then we find out the old lady is kind of a demon when Kyle touches her, and she burns, and then they try and go exorcise her, but the daughter is like, "You can't come into my house. You're saying all this bullshit." And and she's like, "I'm going to call the cops." And then we get the encounter with the rapist guy and the cop, and he beats his ass on the dash cam.
Oh, with a flashlight too.
It's not good. Yeah,
no,
it's not going to be good for him. And then so then we get the breaking of the glasses with the hammer, and that kind of ends the episode. She's just really just angry and taking it out on the glasses she bought at the thrift store. But I think that one wife that was at the Chiefs like dinner party thing, I think that not his wife, but the one wife of the guy, I think she is the demon.
She's got to be a demon.
And I don't know if the guy is. I think maybe he just might be bad.
He's like he's so
a bad guy.
He's just helping her out. He doesn't know what's going on, and he's just like a submissive.
You think that he's helping her out, or you think that she's just facilitating like his need to be a bad guy?
Oh, I don't know.
Because I don't think that she has any agenda. I think he might, and she's just the demon enjoying the bad stuff. I mean, we'd have no idea. We really don't know much about them, except that the guy was kind of bad, and then he ended up burning down the trailer. But
just to cover
really
stuff
think that she's the demon.
Huh? Yeah.
But yeah, they both might be. Who knows?
Yeah, but for sure she is. For sure.
Yeah, for sure she is. I mean, because the dog was definitely barking at her and not the guy. And even though he's like, he tried to, to swerve that that angle to where the dog was barking at him to kind of make him feel better or whatever about his wife. But the old lady's a demon. Like, they're just popping up like crazy. We got 3 demons that are roaming around. I mean, one's in psych prison or whatever, but and then we have the supposed devil and Brent Spiner, which really surprised me. I'm so happy that he is that character.
Yeah,
it's awesome to see Brent Spiner as that character.
I was so happy to see Brent Spiner in that one episode in the back of the church. I was like, yes.
Yeah. I was like, it's him. Yes. I was like, I wasn't sure who they were going to pick for that character, but I'm glad it's someone that's, a popular actor and not just some nobody. Cause I think he will do a great job with that character. And I'm excited to see what else happens, cause the show keeps getting better and better, I think. And I think it's like a couple steps elevated for, over Preacher, in my opinion. Just in, I don't know if it might not be just because it's on a different channel that can show more and be gross and be scary and things like that. But I think just the story is elevated for me than Preacher right now. But I do like them both. There's some great shows right now. The only two good shows on right now that are like comic book shows.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much the show, guys. And what else? Is there anything else coming up? Like anything, any news, or I mean, any other shows that'll be popping up here in the summertime, other than I guess the end of Fear the Walking Dead?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. So I guess we'll be sticking with these shows till they end for the summer, and then after, when we get back to the fall and everything, we'll get back to our other shows. But in the meantime, we'll probably take a few weeks in between. So I'm going to have surgery here pretty soon, so we'll probably take 2 or 3 weeks, and then do another set of 3 for these episodes.
Sounds good.
As we go along, and then we'll share the news that comes out as we did today, and then we'll have another full episode. So yeah, if you guys want to, we'll go ahead and list off our social stuff.
You can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/SuperBoobTubeDudes. We are on Twitter @SBoobTubeDudes. You can also find us on Instagram and Tumblr, which are Super Boob Tube Dudes on those as well. And if you would like to email us, it's podcast@superboobtubedudes.com.
Yeah. Yeah, so go ahead and please do that. And if you guys have any questions about the show or any input or feedback or anything, we'll be happy to hear it, and or comments we'll discuss in the show. And then we'll get rolling. Okay, and so thanks for listening, guys. And I've been Dante.
And I've been Tyler.
And keep on tubing, guys.
Thank you for listening to another Rabble Press podcast. Please contact us through our website, rabblepress.com/contact. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow your favorite podcasts on Twitter.
I thought that was great.